welcome to the 3 Points of Articulation podcast. My name is Jamie, the Big Tasty World. Sadly, our intro did not record properly, so here I am doing the intro for all three of us. It's me, it's Johnny Flashback, and Adam the Wrestling Man. We're discussing rares, chases, variants today. Also, this is our last episode for a couple of weeks, episode 10, and then we'll be back after a couple of week hiatus, ready to sort of refresh the pod, essentially. Also, we want to have a look at our Facebook page. It's 3 Points of Articulation. And also we have on Twitter, 3 Articulation, and also on Instagram. So feel free to have a look at all of those, and we'll see you soon. I hope you enjoy the show, and News World Order is next.
News.
Hello and welcome to News World Order. So we're looking at all the latest reveals from the AEW line and the WWE lines that they've released since the last episode. So there's been a lot of reveals on there. So start off with AEW in Wave 4. Kenny Omega we'll start with. Johnny, what's your view on Kenny? Kenneth?
Kenny, just another Kenny to me. I can't even recall what he's wearing, but I have seen it. You might need to refresh me on that one.
Yes. Gold and silver with a bit of black.
There you go. Nothing special then, is it? It just you need to get these guys in line. I understand it, and people will still be buying them, but it's different.
Adam, would you say that they're in danger of killing Kenny with all these?
I'd say they're in danger of killing people's spirits more than anything. As I said last week on the last time on the podcast, I wanted to collect them all, and because they keep repeating all the same people, that's gone out of my mind completely. And if other people are feeling the same as me, then people like Kenny Omega getting re-released over and over and over again. Yeah, he's a great wrestler, but it's going to get boring.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine at the moment there's probably not many Kenny Omega shelves, should we say. People have dedicated sections to Kenny Omega. But yeah, very strange. I think is this his fourth? Is this his fourth figure? Is that out? Third? With third, yeah, let's say third. Because also we've had the one that come with the exclusive ring. We've had one from Wave 1. We've had this one. Forgive me if I missed any. But yeah, the third in 4 waves. Peculiar.
It's going to happen, but what's going to happen is that they're going to become less wanted because there is so many of that character, and also going to be much less on secondary markets and things like that, because people might just decide, I don't want to collect all, I want one Kenny Omega, and just choose whichever they like the best and get rid of the rest.
I mean, yeah, I think that's the danger. I think the secondary market for these is going to be limited, should we say, rather than if you look back at the Legend series from the WWE line, the likes of, let's say, Iron Sheik, for example, you know, the values have relatively kept because there's not many. We've only had that and the retro one that have been released. So, yeah, I think that's going to kill the secondary market. But speaking of a lot of figures, how about some more Codys? How about them? You guys, some of the Cody, Adam, have you?
We don't need to talk about Cody anymore. No, not doing it.
No, you've got a code of silence.
I think the same applies to Kenny but as to Cody, but yes, it seems to be a bit of a running joke with Cody now is that he's getting all the figures, nobody else is getting any. But again, he's just one of the top guys, so you're going to keep seeing them. Every time he wears a different set of trunks or pants, they're going to be making a new one.
They haven't done one with his new hair, or the black hair that he had, which is peculiar. But
it's coming.
It's coming, yeah. So yeah, we've had the Throne Breaker T-shirt that we had with a separate head, and we've also got the gold pants with the what's his dog called?
Pharaoh,
that's the one with his dog on there as well, with also another head. So that's
the gold one. But it's going to be unattainable. Never mind. I do like the gold one better.
But yeah, we have the first time for Sammy Guevara to get a figure. So, Johnny, we've seen the Sammy Guevara pictures. What do you think of him?
Yeah, it's really good. this one, I like it. I like the tongue out, and just it's good to get a new character. I don't believe he's had any of the figures before, so it's the first figure for him.
Adam?
Yeah, it's hard to really go wrong with this one. As long as they got the head right, it was hard to go wrong because there's not much else about it, is there?
No, I think if they were going to do a double head in a pack, I would have liked to have seen it in this, because you could have had a tongue in and a tongue out one. But I think out of the two, I don't mind the tongue out, truth be told.
I'm not crazy about having extra heads or anything like that, so I'm happy just to get the one.
Unnecessary accessories. That's a conversation we had a different time, wasn't it? We've now got our the rare figure, not the chase one, the rare one, which we'll be covering later on. Matt Hardy. So you got the 1 in 500 rare, and you've got the standard figure. Adam, have you seen both?
Yeah, I've seen the actual figures. I've not seen what they come with, but I've seen the actual figures. And like I said last time, we've had this. It's very similar to the WrestleMania Matt Hardy that we had with the style of coat and things like that from Mattel. So it's not one that I'm going to be picking up.
I think they've done a good job with it. It's on par, if not better than Mattel at least. So can't argue with what they've done. But it's not too desirable after having so many Matt figures recently, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Or the standard one comes with a drone and like an image of Matt Hardy in red, which you can obviously projected from the drone from his debut, I think, when he appeared on the stage. And then the other one doesn't come with a jacket; it just comes with Matt Hardy in a black top with the same equipment. So it comes with the drone and the hologram. That's what I'm looking for. That's what they both come with. Which I think, if they were, as I said before in the last episode, if they're going to do a rare or a chase of Matt Hardy, I want to see different versions of Matt Hardy, not Matt Hardy with a coat and Matt Hardy without one. But yeah, that's Matt Hardy for you. Now we got the Proud and Powerful. So we'll cover Ortiz first, because I know, Adam, you were quite excited by these figures when they were announced, or you had something to say about them anyway a few weeks ago. Now you've seen the images. What's your views on them?
Yeah, they look like the pick of the bunch. Obviously, as a tag team display collector, as I'm going to be when I get myself sorted, that's definitely ones that I want. The double head with the big afro hair and the other hair is a great thing to do. Even though I'm not a massive fan of two heads in a pack, this one works completely.
I hate when they get called Proud and Powerful. What a terrible name for a tag team. I prefer just Santana or Ortiz. But yeah, the smashing figures, those two, both with alternative heads, which is nice for the guys who, would like to display two different ones from two different eras, I guess. Not eras, but parts of the year where they've changed a bit. And yes, new characters, get them in.
So the inner circle t-shirts as well, I believe.
Yeah. So obviously Ortiz comes with an inner circle t-shirt to go with your Jericho and your Moxley if you wanted to as well, and obviously Gizbara's there as well. It's not a removable t-shirt though. I think it's a t-shirt that's painted on, I believe. Okay. But he never really took his t-shirt off in the ring anyway. I can reason with him on that, truth be told. But the Santana one, as I know, he sent a tweet out, which I quite like. He sent a tweet out to say that he collected figures when he was a kid and he used to play with them in the bath and so on. And it's sort of a big moment in his career to have a figure released, which is quite good to see, because you never really hear that side of things from the wrestlers, especially when they're heels like that. So I think that's always good to hear from my side.
It's nice to be grateful.
Yes, exactly. But you get a nice Puerto Rican. Is it Puerto Rican? The flag. Yeah. You get the flag with them, and Santana comes with his flip flop as well, which is always good to see. So wave 5. Wave 5 we'll move on to now. We've only had the renders or the prototype, should we say, images for these. So Jungle Boy is the first one I'll cover. I know obviously we've
I think we may jump in there and maybe reserve our thoughts for when we see them actually properly. But it's maybe good to comment on the lineup and how they look so far as a one. I'm happy to see Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus because they're completely brand new. And Scorpio and Kaz hopefully will have the tag belts.
Yeah,
and again,
yeah.
Moxley, which it can't be much different from their first releases. I mean, not much
Yeah,
at the moment.
the back of the packet that's been showed does show the tag team belts on the shoulders. So I'm assuming that the tag belts do come with them. Makes sense.
No brainer.
Seems to be. They seem to still be sticking with the Double or Nothing kind of time frame. If you know what I mean. They're not really releasing any really, really recent ones apart from your Cody's. Everything seems to be around the Double or Nothing.
Was that the first pay-per-view in 2019 you seen, or?
Yeah, that kind of time when it that was the. I mean, it wasn't the first pay-per-view, but it was the first big event they had. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. They're going to have to start from scratch, and obviously there's about a year lead time. I've heard from Mattel, so it'll be similar for them as well, unless they fast track somebody like Cody from having the TLC win as an exclusive.
Speaking of, I know as we spoke beforehand, Adam, but yeah, obviously the Britt Baker little rib they had.
Yeah, great stuff. They told her she was going to be in a 2-pack with the waiting room background with her and Cody, of which she stayed in character and went a bit crazy on Twitter, I believe, about it. Turns out that it wasn't true, but yeah, all good fun. Good to see figures in the headline.
Yeah, and that was with their suited Cody, which is obviously coming at some point. I believe they did reveal that he is going to be in a 2-pack, but just not with Britt Baker.
No, probably maybe I can't even think of a situation where Cody wore a suit in the ring. Maybe Lance Archer and they had the contract signing or something.
Cody wears a suit on a regular basis, Jamie.
I'm talking about in that time period. Recently, he has been because he's been more VP, isn't he? But
even then, there's several segments where he's had a suit on.
Probably be a Kenny then, paired with. And so you got the John Moxley, which is you get the standard, and you get the chase. The chase comes with the eye patch that you wore during the Jericho feud, and the standard just comes as a standard John Moxley.
Cool. I'll look forward to seeing more pictures of them before we
break them down. And also the last one in the wave is Adam Page, which is also the chase and the standard on there.
Yeah, seems to releasing like the top guys as the chase standard type figures where they're getting 2 in each line. Not sure why Riho was one of them though.
Women's title, wasn't it? I think we were looking at that stage being there. So we spoke about before about the Cody TNT title that we had. So we say have more images of that reveal, or more clearer images, should we say? What do you guys think? First impressions of that set?
I think fucking figure. It's excellent packaging, great belt, and perfect for like an exclusive from ringside. So I'm not afraid to say that I've ordered 2.
Oh, one in box, one out.
Yep.
Lovely.
I think it's going to be a much better in-box display. I was quite impressed with all the theatre that went with it. Out of box, it's going to be pretty bog standard, I'd say. So I'd keep them in.
I like the colours though, and I wanted to get the title out, so one of each.
Is it the purple and silver? That's the
I think it's nice. A nice popping attire. It stands out.
Yeah, so the colours do pop on it. It looks like a Palmer Violets in a way, isn't it? Like a packet of those.
Sure.
I'm accustomed to, so that's always a good sign. So let's move on to WWE. So we'll start with the 2-pack.
Just stop you there 1 second. We've got a little few more tidbits of AEW that. Yeah, AEW figures will be coming with stands soon. And we have got a little bit more information on the Unmatched series, in that some figures may become a retro style, for instance, an LGN style figure. Did you see the news on that?
Yeah, they hinted towards the second series, the second style of figures just being open to a few more different things like retro, like LJN. They didn't say for definite they were going to go down that route, but they said it could open it up to that route.
Yeah, I definitely imagine they might be releasing one, classic style per wave in that. Not sure who or when or where or how, but yeah,
Kind of like
expect it.
Jack's Classics LJNs.
Yep, that's right. Which I'm still looking for the Trish Stratus.
Yeah, I think I know Jeremy Fidel did a poll on Twitter a few months ago asking what did people want to see out of all the lines. I think Retro won, so interesting to see he's gone down the route of all of them. Yeah, interesting to see what works out. LJN's not really part of my childhood, so they mean nothing to me really.
Yeah, same here. I don't think they were that big in this country, but I could be wrong.
No, I watched on the Toys That Made Us. They had a good piece on LJN in there and how it all come about and the figures and so on. And I said I only heard about them a few years ago. I didn't realize they existed before then. So
Yeah, and the other podcast is like, your Major Pod and the, oh God, I forget the name now. Fully Posable. They're huge on LGN. Must be the time where they're growing up. Although Matt Cardona is the same age as me, but that's what I'm saying. I think they were available much more earlier in USA than they were over here.
yeah, I don't remember seeing them in the shelves.
No, not at all.
Or car boot sales. So
no, not really.
Got the majority of our stuff. Is that it for AEW? We got anything else?
Yeah, that's it.
All out, lovely. So yes, we got the 2-pack, Jeff Hardy and the Triple H, the IC title feud they had way back when. I think Jeff Hardy looked brilliant. I don't know you guys, but Adam, what's your view on the 2-pack?
Yeah, it looks really good. I'm a big fan of belts, and to get that one re-released is brilliant. I think it's coming out with another one as well, so they're kind of doing a double header with that particular style of belt. But yeah, the colours all pop on it. The box, it's a SmackDown background, correct?
It is.
Yeah, that's really good. And like you say, the Jeff is good, a lot better than one of the basics that I've seen of him coming out, which looks horrendous. But anyway, let's get back to this.
Yeah, I definitely like this one. I'm a bit gutted because I think if Matt was still in WWE, we'd see a 2-pack of Jeff and Matt in the 2001 era, which we sadly missed out on. But it's also good that we're getting an elite Triple H from that era, whereas before we only had the Ultimate, which I know Adam's not fond of. So I'm guessing you'll be picking up that elite.
Yeah, I mean, it depends whether it goes with anything to do with tags, to be honest.
Right.
2-man power trip with the Rumble Stone Cold.
There you go.
Gotta be done.
Good. Well, honestly, yeah. So I think that Jeff Hardy, I agree. We need a Matt Hardy of that era. I think the Team Extreme would have worked well when you had those two in Lita. But as I said, Matt Hardy being with AEW now sort of puts a damper on that. But fingers crossed.
Sure.
On there. So Elite 85, we've seen images for on those physically in their boxes. And we've got a bit of news about a bit more of articulation. Adam, do you want to take us?
Yeah, adding another point of articulation to it. They're planning on making double jointed elbows. I think you might be able to elaborate on this a bit, but I think there's 2 people that they're kind of testing it on out of that wave or out of the next wave. Do you know exactly who that is?
Yeah, it's Becky Lynch and Bray Wyatt from that wave.
B&B.
What it is that these are the elbow joints that the AEW figures have. So in a way, I'm not saying to copy them because that's a bit daft to say, but because it would have been in place for quite a while. But they are becoming, the same elbow joints as the AEW figures, which I said a few weeks ago when I first got them loose, that I was quite impressed with that because you could do something like that where you couldn't with an elite. You can pull the elbow across and point it back a bit more for anyone that's just listening, not watching. So it's a good little addition. And apparently it'll make tattoos and things like that look flow a lot more better. So it can only be a good thing. Just hopefully it doesn't see the end result resulting in a price increase.
I think they definitely chose the right ones out of the two of them, because I think they're the ones that are going to be opened more, if that makes sense, because you get the Huskers pick with Bray Wyatt and you get the Money in the Bank and the belt with Becky Lynch. So I think they're the ones that are going to be open more, so people have to see them and be tested more on them. So it makes sense to be those two for me.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to try and see if you can model the Bray Wyatt backwards crab. Just see how that goes with them.
Yeah, I think you could still do that currently with Elite figures, but
yeah, but not as good.
I haven't tried it, so I can't comment.
I've tried it in real life and it's not easy. Right, so the actual figures themselves. So Undertaker from the Boneyard match we've seen comes with a shovel, comes with a bandana, comes with some spare hands. Lovely. Johnny, what's your view on the dead man?
It's fine. It's not much different from the last release where it was the exclusive. So it's the same sort of era, same sort of head, but yeah, people love that. They're going to go out and purchase that bike that from the Wrecking series and stick them on there. I reckon.
You reckon?
I reckon.
Adam?
Yeah, not much more to add to that. It's a really nice figure. John Oz really covered it there. It's a must for Taker fans.
Yeah, so we're getting a lot more Taker Elite, which people will be welcoming, which is always good to see. Here we covered a little bit earlier, Becky Lynch, Money in the Bank briefcase, some tiny hands in the box as well, one hand bigger than the other, looking at it. I'm guessing...
Bizarre choice of accessory, but...
Oh, sorry, John, what was that?
Say it's a bizarre choice of accessory for Becky, but I think Steve from Mattel did explain it, but it made no sense to me, so I'm not going to try and repeat what he said.
Yeah, it's a nice looking case. We haven't had that one before, have we? That exact briefcase. So that's what people will be buying for.
I think Carmelo come with a green one, didn't she? I believe. But yeah, I think it's going to be that moment where she revealed that she was pregnant on TV. I think that's going to be what it's from. So also you put the belt in the briefcase if it will fit, and then doing it that way. So I think that more like what they're going off was, did she win Money in the Bank, Becky Lynch?
No, don't think so.
So that's got to be, that's the only thing it can be for is that.
Yeah, good point. That's fair enough then.
Albeit it was Asuka that won a title, so maybe Asuka should have had that, which is strange because I know Mattel love Asuka and very peculiar.
I can tell you exactly why Asuka won't be coming with it. It's because of all the other decor that they'll have to come with, and I think they're trying to get Asuka's coat involved somehow. So with that being, it would be very highly expensive. A lot of deco on the body and face as well. So you're never going to see Asuka come with a title or come with an accessory like that.
She wears about 37 layers, doesn't she, Asuka? She's been dragged through a charity shop, doesn't she, every time you see her?
Well, not that bad, Jamie.
No. Aleister Black is next. The 85 Aleister Black with his coat with the spikes on it. Your views on this, Adam?
Nothing new, is it? We've already had one with jacket with spikes on. It's just another Aleister Black.
But hold your horses, because this is a chase, and the chase has an F on the knee pad. So
is that why I saw two pictures of it, and I was thinking, why is the two pictures out? I didn't even realise that was the chase.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything else to warrant it being a chase apart from the F on the knee pad. So you shouldn't have to look that hard to figure out. We're covering that in a bit anyway, but it's very much like, where's Wally with that? Where's Ali, we should call it.
Yeah, very poor that. Let's move on.
So that's the 85. So you got the Karma, which is the collectors from Elite 85. Obviously, I know we've discussed it before, the Karma Mustafa, but it's just after seeing images. What do you guys think? Johnny, what's your...
When I first seen the image of this in the box, I thought that is horrendous still, because that face is tremendous. It's probably one of the best faces I've seen on a wrestling figure in quite a long time. And the attire looks spot on, tattoos look spot on, the chain's different from other figures and matches completely. I think this is one of their stronger efforts, flashback-wise, I've ever seen.
Yeah, this figure is absolutely amazing from when I first saw it. They're really good at Charles Wright, to be fair. Papa Shango's really good. Godfather's really good facial-wise. So this is just another one of those. I think I'm going to have to cheat a little bit and maybe make $1 million corporation tag team to get him in.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the common stuff, it looks really good. Sorry, Johnny, what was you saying?
I was saying who you...
Stable.
All right. That's cool.
Sorry, Charles, I think I might have missed you there. What did you say?
Nothing, move on.
All right. Carrying Cross, we'll move on to, which talking about good-looking figures. This looks a lot like Carrying Cross. Adam, what's your view on him?
I thought something looked strange about the body when I first saw it. The way that they've displayed it in the box. I looked at images of him, and to be fair, the mold is actually better than I first thought. But I think they've displayed the body with the top half really sticking out from the bottom half, which if they display it like that in the box, it could lead to very ease of movement of the torso, which I'm hoping not. But going back to the actual look of it, yeah, I mean, it's really good. It's never going to be over elaborate for a first figure of him, but it looks spot
on. I'm not too aware of current stars and how they look exactly, but I've seen on a message board that his kick pads aren't right, and they should have used the ones that actually came with Karma. So I think they made the figure too tall. So, and Mattel were pretty honest about it and said we kind of rushed it. We try to get this one out quickly, and we'll improve it on the next one. But I don't know if that's the best thing to do or not, but there you go. They're getting one quicker, but it's not as good as it should be.
No, at least people are getting one. I think that's a good sign. It's a bit of a faux pas on the last episode. I mentioned about Bray Wyatt and mentioned about the puppets. The Bray Wyatt Funhouse did come with the Vince McMahon puppet, albeit a different shade of grey and a different colour. I think it didn't come with a tie or something. But lo and behold, Elite 85, Bray Wyatt comes with Huskus the Pig, which was the one that was missing anyway. So everyone's going to be able to get their little puppets in there. Johnny, what's your view on this Bray?
I think it looks awful, but people you say are going to buy it for that Huskus the Pig, and I believe they probably must have deliberately left it out of the ringside one just so they could release another easy, simple Bray Wyatt like this and have him sell still.
Yeah, they also, talking about deliberately left out, they also deliberately left out the collar off the last Elite Bray Wyatt. So this one's got it on. So people are going to be buying it for that as well.
Just to clarify, that Huskus looks terrible. Just to be able to see a close-up of his face, it doesn't look anything like him. It's the worst-looking figure from the series, I'd say. And last, but certainly not least, is Liv Morgan. Comes with a lovely white robe. And yeah, she's in a black attire from the early 2020 through to when she joined the Riot Squad in the summerish again. So yeah, Adam, what's your view on our Liv?
Yeah, I mean, it's from a very brief period, so people are probably not going to care too much about this figure, to be honest, because it's something that didn't really work for her and didn't last. The white robe looks all right. I was wondering what it was, to be honest, when I first saw it. But it's not for me. It's Riot Squad all the way.
I can't add anything to that. In fact, Adam just taught me a few things about Liv Morgan. But I think she's quite she's got unique features which translate well to a figure, so it does look good.
I wonder if we'll be releasing the Christina Aguilera one from the Rumble last week. It's a good outfit. The Ultimate Editions we will have a look at next. We've got Edge and the Macho Man. We'll look at Macho first. Only because I was excited when this first came out, and we had a conversation when we first saw the images for it or the renders for it. I like the jacket. I like the hat. For me, that's where it ends with the likeness. But Adam, what's your
It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me at all. Like you say, when we first saw the jacket, it was a bit different, a bit more simple, a bit nicer to see, less garish. And then the figure was shown with it, and the jacket doesn't sit on the figure right, and the figure looks awful, and the head looks awful. So I will probably pick up the jacket.
Yeah, it's a strange head. I quite like it without the jacket. I know Adam hates the torsos, but I think it kind of works with the top that he's wearing in this occasion. But I don't want to say it's a disappointment. I think it's still good, and I'd love to get it. It'll sit well on the shelf. In fact, I've already got it pre-ordered, and I'm not bothered about cancelling that. But yeah, I like it. Not tremendously much, but I do like it.
Is it from like the 92, 93 Macho?
Yeah, it's around that era, but what it's doing really is depicting the Hasbro figure. It's a pretty much a carbon copy of the attire he's wearing there. I don't know if it's accurate to any event or anything, but that's what it's doing. It's a nod to the Hasbro line.
Yeah, we spoke about it the other week, didn't we, when they're releasing certain figures, like the Yokozuna, for example. Yeah, we never really wore that attire, but I think the only difference is the Macho was a bit more white, or the Hasbro. You might tell me otherwise, but I think that's side by side. That's the only difference for me on there.
Well, you have the jacket on; it's exactly the same attire.
Yeah, give or take. And the other one is the Rumble winner. Spoilers from this year, Edge. Johnny, what's your view on Edge?
I haven't spent too much time studying this one as I did the Macho Man, because it's not one I'm going to buy with it being a current guy. But from close, just a quick snapshot of it, I thought it looked good. I looked fine. I'll pass to Adam. He might be able to add a bit more.
Yeah, the face, the two heads are very slightly above average, which is a bit better for the Ultimate Editions. The one where he's screaming would be really good for kind of big photography. I'll get that in before you do here, Jamie, about like doing the spear or running out in the mist kind of thing. So it's a nice looking figure, and obviously the hands as well help with this one.
Yes, depicting the moment where he returned, wasn't it? So he's had hands on head, who's quite emotional. I think it works well for that moment.
Yeah, I won't be getting it, but yeah, I completely agree. It makes sense, that one. So we're just covering many elites, but one noteworthy thing is the Austin Theory from the basic line. His first figure of Austin Theory, he's the Chase. You get the black trunks, which are the normal, and the red, which are the Chase. Have you guys seen the images for Austin Theory?
Yeah, it's got a weird face. It's kind of doing a smirk or a grin, but they've messed it up somehow. So I hope it looks better than the images.
Again, I've seen it, but I didn't study it too well, and I'll take Adam's word for it.
Yeah, it's pretty much spot on, to be honest. I think they've tried to capture something and not really grasped it as well as they could have on there. But it's good to see a good difference in the Chase, which one's going to be covering. Fan Takeover we'll look at next. The Elites. So we've got more images from the Fan Takeover 2. So we had Fan Takeover 1, which is currently being released in the US, I think later on this month, being February. Fan Takeover 2, we've got Johnny Gargano, which is the Wolverine Gargano from Takeover. Christian, which I think was from a 2010 run, looking at the World Heavyweight title on his shoulder. X-Pac from 2002 with the NWO, and Orton from roughly around 2004 Rumble to Mania period. Johnny, do you want to kick us off with Orton?
Yeah, Orton. Apparently it was from Royal Rumble 2004, but it's actually from WrestleMania 20. So Mattel kind of made a boo-boo on the picture they shown. So the Royal Rumble in its name attire won the poll, but the picture that they showed was WrestleMania 20. So they've gone ahead and made the one that was pictured. So yeah, they've kind of messed up a little bit there. And I would have liked to have either one of the other two. I think it was a poor choice.
Yeah, definitely. Adam, what's your any views on these?
Yeah, quite a big mistake to make for that Orton one. The standout for me is Gargano. I'm not sure why they went with the Wolverine attire, because although it is the best attire he's ever worn by a country mile, they couldn't do it accurately because they haven't got the rights to the scratches down his shirt. So it's just a normal white top that he's got on. So you'll be getting everyone buying it and actually customizing it to put the Wolverine thing on it.
It's yellow, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, yellow with the blue. It looks good. He can pose his hand, which I think it's good. It's going to sell well. So I don't think we'll get it over here to pick it up from Amazon US, but the price point's decent. I think with postage, I didn't actually work out that bad. So if people are wanting them, they can have them, certainly. And with Christian's return at the Rumble, you get a Christian takeover in there with the flip the switch for his kill switch t-shirt.
I'm going to do the same thing as I said about Orton. Any of them but that one. It's already been released before in an earlier line. Just why?
It's actually presented really nicely in the box, and I think it's a different base, very slightly. I might be completely wrong there, but it actually looks quite good. I wasn't expecting things from it, but it looks decent.
Yeah, I'm not debating whether it looks good or not. It's just the same attire we've already seen before, and it'd be nice to get something a bit more iconic. I think they had WrestleMania 20 on there where you fought Chris Jericho. That would be more of a standout moment for him.
Well, I've got the Jericho from that era, the blue ringside one from the sort of WrestleMania 20, wasn't it? When he fought over Trish Stratus. And I think that's the one I voted for, was that one. I think I would love to see that one. But I think with Orton, I said I couldn't really see the image properly on my phone when I was voting for it. So it just showed the pay-per-view that it was depicted from. I picked the Rumble because you couldn't see the trunks. It only showed his top half. So, yeah, peculiar on there. But, yeah, that's all I've got for reveals-wise. Have you guys got anything else that I might have missed?
X-Pac. We never talked about X-Pac.
We spoke about our Sean, did we? NWO X-Pac comes with a cane head.
Everything tries to come with a cane head. I don't want cane heads, but the figure itself is pretty good. I'm happy to get that attire. Probably, if I did vote, I think I would have voted for that one as well.
Remind me of the attire, because this one's completely made my mind go blank.
Black shorts with a white stripe underneath it, NWO t-shirt, NWO kick pads, cane head.
2002 X-Pac.
Four hands that come with it. 2 sets of hands that come with that one.
Wonderful.
6 in total.
I want to get that one, definitely.
Just for the hands, I imagine.
Of course.
But I'd say, yeah, all in all, that's the one I voted for, was the... no, I didn't. I voted for the X-Factor X-Pac from 2001-ish, the Invasion. One I voted for. But yeah, I think there's this line, then maybe one more before they go into the Ultimate Takeover, the Ultimate ones that have been released. So
there's too many lines. I've lost track of them all.
Lost interest already. But yeah, I think that's everything for reveals wise on there.
Yeah,
I've just got one from Zombie Sailor, who have released a kind of lineup. There's no images yet, but they've released a lineup of who they're doing in the retro style. They're doing the one that I don't know is, I've heard of him, but Danhausen. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. They're doing ECW Sabu and Bruiser Brody. They're going to be involved. They're going to be out after SummerSlam sometime.
Yeah, the latter two are really big names. So it seems to show a bit of ambition if they're going after names like that. So good luck to them.
I think Sabu especially sticks out for me, that one. Danhausen, doesn't mean anything to me. But, yeah, good enough. Right. Well, we'll be back in a second with some pick-me-ups.
Oh, some lovely pick-me-ups.
Pick-me-ups time now. We're looking at all of our lovely purchases since the last episode of the podcast. So, Jono, what have you picked up this week?
Oh, I think we talked about it in our first episodes when we talked about pre-orders, and I have had a pre-order long-standing since August for AEW Series 1, and they've just arrived from Big Pop Shop. I'm not going to dwell on the figures themselves. We've seen them 1,000 times. It's the 5 base figures from Series 1 minus Brandy. So after a long wait, I finally got those from Fig Pop Shop.
No, bless her. I think obviously I think it's unavoidable for Fig Pop Shop, and they've had supply issues from that side of things. I think there's a lot of small retailers have frustrating really, but nothing you or they could do.
I'm not complaining because at the time when they did only get a few in, I messaged to say, "Don't worry about me. Get other people's orders out. I'm happy to wait." The reason I did wait is to try and get these, the improved versions, which are supposedly coming out. But that, if that hasn't happened by now, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
No, I've not seen any evidence of it.
I don't think we'll get them over here anyway. Should be told.
Yes.
Love it, Adam.
Actually, I'll keep going on mine and just see. I've had a delivery this morning, and it's from Smith's for AEW line. I managed to get 4 pre-orders in, and I've got 2 so far, and it's the Young Bucks. So these figures compared to the first ones are really good. They're a lot better facially, and the skin tone's a lot better. They're just white on the other one. I'm trying to compare them side by side. I'll try and get Matt Jackson, and you can see they're just like 2 different people completely.
Yeah, there's a massive difference in a shade of skin there.
So, yeah, it's a strange one that these Series 1 are maybe going to go down as the ugly ducklings of the series. But improvement's always good. And there's the Nick. I'm trying to not get any glare on the...
Yeah, it's different, isn't it? It's been a holiday.
The worlds apart.
I see worlds apart. Yeah, that's the only 2 I got from Series 3.
I guess with those, what's the point in them repainting them if they're going to just repaint the bodies and sell it to us as new figures?
I have no idea what the plan was with them. Wish I did.
Yeah. So AEW-wise, whilst you're on the subject, also I've got the ring and the Cody. Only because I needed the ring to sort of play around with the little one with, and quite like it. Oh, have you guys opened the ring up yet, or have you kept it in the box?
Box.
I haven't opened it yet, but I really want to because people are asking for rope for someone. I need to kind of test them out. I'm guessing it's exactly the same size as the Mattel Basic ring. So
yeah, exactly the same size as the Mattel Basic. The only thing I will say, which is a massive plus point for me, it hasn't got that spring that you get with the current ones. I hate that. It's a bit more a sturdier ring. It marks quite easily, which a bit annoying. But the matte finish on there looks really good. It's an actual canvas. I always do this thing whenever I get a new ring. I do a top rope check. I always do where I line one wrestler up and clothesline him over the rope with another one because I'm still a child at heart. And sturdy. These ropes are like tight. They're sturdy, and the enough space between those. All in all, a decent ring for good price point as well from Smiths.
Pleased to hear it. Yeah, I'm pleased to hear it's not got a spring ring because I've tried to display half of my retro figures in one of them, the Hall of Fame Basic ring, and the key falling over because the spring ring is just knocking them down.
Yeah.
Do me
a favour, Jamie, and not right now, but check whether they fit in a detolf, because that's the only reason I want to open mine is to actually put it in a section of my detolf. Not now.
I would do it now, but I've got a spare detolf shelf there I'm currently sorting, so you're in luck.
I can say with 99% sure that it do fit because I've seen other people doing. So honestly, if you can buy this Cody set for £30, sell the figure for £30 to £40, you got a free ring. You could, put them in every shelf of your detolf, and it would look pretty neat.
That's my thought process behind it. Obviously, the stickers don't come on there, so there's no stickers that come on there at all. So essentially, you've got a blank ring.
Yeah.
A black blank ring, if that makes sense. But
nothing
like a free ring, is there?
Pretty much.
If you like it, you should have put a ring in it. Adam, pop over to.
Yeah, as I've been saying, I'm going down the tag team route. So very, very quiet couple of weeks for me. So I have picked up a couple of tag people. I've got the hard to find Tyson Kidd Elites with the shirt, and I bought it not even knowing there was a shirt, so plus point for me. So now that can go with DH Smith, which I already owned, as the Hart Dynasty. And I picked up a Rikishi figure because there's no Brian Christopher released yet, and that can go with my Scotty figure. The SmackDown Tag Team Champions. So I'll pick up a couple of belts to go with them as well. So especially the Tyson Kidd, I am extremely happy with.
Tough to get hold of that one. I remember years ago it was probably even more expensive for some reason, but I guess because they re-released Tyson as a one with Cesaro. But at the time that was the only one figure of him, and it's a pretty good one, although his hair is absolutely terrible.
His hair was terrible in real life, though.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. I've sort of been inspired by your tag team route and gone a similar route with mine. I've paired Scotty and Rikishi up together because you said there's no Brian Christopher. But I think Tyson Kidd I think I saw you pick that up, and it's a good price for that nowadays on Tyson. I'll kick off next. I picked up a $1 Million Man. The entrance greats one. Did a little head swap on a basic. Looks a million times better. $1 Million Man. Shoes on there. One I've been after for a while. We're waiting for get at the right point. I've got a nice little price for it. But yeah, all in all, $1 Million Man entrance great. Looks great with the basic head on.
It's the best $1 Million Man yet for me. I really like the green suit one, but that's only because I like that attire. But that entrance great is I've got that one in box. I don't want to take it out. But yeah, brilliant figure. Good pickup.
Yeah, I really like that figure. The accessories, the clothing that they used to do with figures are just mind blowing because they'll never do anything like that now. And I'm not sure why you did a head swap because it really wasn't needed.
I didn't do it. The person that sold it, the head swapped. The body. It also sent the body for the basic figure, as well. So anyone needs a headless body. But I don't overly mind it. It does look like Noel Edmonds, but what can you do? Johnny,
Okay,
what's next?
I'm heading back to Fig Pop Shop, and I picked up the Royal Rumble figures. Now, I'm pretty pleased that Titus, well, not pleased, but I didn't care that Titus got delayed, stuck under the ring somewhere, so I picked up the 3 flashbacks in the series with Umaga and Ultimate Warrior and Steve Austin with his gold trimmed vest. Very much different to the rest.
Yeah, really. I've managed to see these up close because in the FWL, WrestleBox has donated some figures. Spoiler alert, it does include 1 or 2 of those ones. And the Umaga one, especially, is absolutely brilliant. I was shocked how good it was. The face is fantastic. The attire is perfect. Just an absolutely brilliant figure.
Yeah, I really like them. I think they've all 3 have done really well. And yeah, even Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, I got the Warrior loose there. I think the title-wise looks really, really good. The title and the pants combo, trunks, look really good. I put them on my IC title shelf, front and center. The belt's relatively flimsy, which is a bit annoying. But apart from that, I think, all in all, it's a great figure.
I always thought that IC belt is a tad too big, but they're never going to change it at this point.
No.
Because I kind of had one customized for quite a while. I just had a black strap painted yellow, and it works at treats anyway. So good to get the second yellow IC anyway.
Indeed. What was the other one you got in the set? Did you say sorry? Austin was the other one.
Austin, yeah, it's a really good head scan actually. So if there's any reason to get one, and it's one of those guys that you don't mind them being re-released because there's that demand from, as well as, well, that's what it is. He's always looked the same. There's not much more you can do.
We've got the Ultimate Austin coming out soon as well, so I think they're just. So after that, I imagine they're not going to release many Austins because the Ultimate one's going to be the Ultimate one, isn't it? So good to see they've released that now.
hopefully some more WCW Stunning Steve after that. Fingers crossed.
Definitely. Okay, next we got the WrestleMania elites. I'm sure you guys have picked some up as well. I've already got rid of Goldberg and already got rid of Edge because I don't really need them. But Shawn Michaels, so first impression, the box, I wasn't overly keen on it. I delve a bit deeper into our Shawn, and it does look very, very good. I think from the back, nice bit of detail on his hair. And yeah, I think it's a good looking figure. My circles on the arm are a bit off. I don't know about yours.
What? They look all right. I'm guessing they're meant to be a bit random, but I haven't seen the back of it, but it looks okay up front.
Mine
Again,
have
sorry.
mine have raised bits where the silver should be in, and the silver's beside the raised bits. So if you guys can see that at all. But I've got like circles where the silver should be in, but it isn't. It's next to it. But unless you're being a pedantic person like me and looking for it, you don't want to see anything.
Yeah, you'll never notice that in a normal world. Definitely the best figure of the lot, though, for me.
Yeah. Adam, did you pick these up, or have you?
I'll say yes. I didn't bring them to show because the only reason I picked them up was for the Build-A-Figure inside. So the others went straight on eBay. I did pick them up though, and it was a nice set. So Goldberg seems to get the most attention on eBay out of those ones.
That's good to hear because I want to sell that one. I'm only in it for the head for my own collection. So I will be selling the Goldberg.
The belt sold for just the first Blue Universal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit.
You got China there in your hand, Jeremy?
I do. I have very much got a China. Very tiny belt that comes with our China, but head scan wise, it looks good until you get to about there. Sorry, Johnny, Karen.
I'm just saying the belt is terrible. Like it's dull and it's much smaller than the previous releases. I really don't know why they've done that, or just.
Yeah, it's a strange one. Its dullness is in line with the very early elites that came out. Like Sheamus came out with a really dull WWE title. It's kind of really in line with them. And I'm not sure if they're going to be going back down that route with the classic belts. It just seems weird.
It is weird because some are getting released as shiny belts and some are getting re-released as dull belts like this, and it seem all over the place, not knowing what they're going to do or where they're going to go and which belts will be dull, which was shiny.
I could have understood it if this was a re-release of a belt like that. They're just cutting costs, but it's not even that. So I just don't get it.
Yeah, that's sure. That's definitely probably going to be going on eBay now and replaced it with the actual decent women's championship that we got with Trish Stratus and a few others in the past.
Definitely better facial wise than I thought.
Yeah, I think the figure's fine itself. Yeah, happy with that.
Yeah, I needed a China. I didn't really want to spend a lot of money on the 2-pack just to open it up. That should come with Triple H with. So I'm happy to get that one in the early 2000s. And the Edge.
The Edge. The Edge is fine.
No, it isn't. Really,
no, it is
horrific.
I'm never going to win the argument with anyone about this, but it's not as bad as people are making out. It's not good. I'm not saying it's good. It's just not terrible. I've seen other people try to do a head swap, and this head is better than the one they try to replace it with. So
this is a test figure from the year 1999. Not much different to that Edge one there, is it?
Yes, it's very much different.
It's a test. It's
good. Ignoring Jamie's rubbish point there, you're definitely not going to win me over there because He's got a silly face that looks nothing like him. It's got a weird big bit on his neck which doesn't fit on the peg properly. It's just weird. Not good.
Look like he's got a really big neck, doesn't it? Yeah. It's not good, but I can live with that.
And finally, Ellering. Adam, do you want to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, so luckily, because I've heard bad reports about the Build-A-Figure parts not going into each other properly. Luckily, mine's fine, no issues whatsoever. I would say that it's got an elongated neck. It probably doesn't look it from this angle, but the neck is quite big and quite long. So maybe that's just a peg issue. You've obviously got Rocco that goes with it. There's a running change on this one where the future ones will be released with an open jacket. I definitely need the open jacket. I don't think this one looks like him enough as far as suit what he wore. The open jacket one looks much better from the pictures I've seen.
So you'll have to buy another Edge then?
Yeah, I think figure-wise, it's really good. Looks really good with LOD when you put them all together with Rocco. I quite like the fact you can pop his hand up, Rocco, but no, you can pop his little hand up and you can pose them.
Yeah, good detail by Mattel there.
Definitely.
And the display, otherwise it'll just end up getting dropped all over the place. A bit like I think Roddy Piper came with some bagpipes that he couldn't hold, and the George Steele came with the mine which he couldn't hold. So it's good that they've thought of that one.
Yeah, I put Rocco on the hanging over the edge anyway because last year you needed that fall over. But yeah, it looks good. I think I'm quite happy with the othering one. It's the first one I've bought the whole set or had the whole set just to build the figure. I was going to do it with the Danny Davis one, but then after a while, I think it just become a bit meh. So yeah, I'm glad I picked this up with Paul Ellering. I think it's definitely what I had my eye on when it was announced.
Cool. Should we let Adam get one in?
No, and then
I'm
Adam. No,
that's
done.
it. Yeah, I just have my 2 tag team people in Ellering.
Right. Well, to finish off my order, like 2 actual massive orders from Pig Pop Shop, I picked up the Michael Hayes. That's from Elite 83. I believe it's the collector's edition, and a bit of a unique flashback to pick up. I think the face is good, just a strange bit of an attire, bit of a mismatch all over the place. I've thought about trying to get a robe from him rather than the t-shirt, but not in any sort of hurry to do that.
That'd be quite good to. Oh, carry on, so Adam.
I was going to say as soon as I get Jimmy Garvin, because I'm definitely going to get that customized, I'll be getting a couple of custom robes to go on that. The t-shirt is pretty. Nobody wants the t-shirt. Everybody wants the robe. So probably either get the Jax one or get a custom one made.
Well, I was thinking in regards to Jimmy Garvin, I believe he was wearing tights by the time he was teaming with Garvin. So if you
never even thought of that.
Yeah, maybe the Terry Gordy custom might be better if you can get that.
Whichever one the Galoobs were. Which one was there? The Galoob, the one that was like that.
That was Garvin.
Yeah, the other goalkeeper I used to play with. On that. Yeah, I think Michael. There he is. And Hayes is like that, isn't he? It's Michael Hayes.
There you go. Little treat.
That's the boys. Just if anyone that's listening, the Galoob ones we're showing now. Yeah, so I think Michael Hayes wise for me, he's always he managed the Hardy Boys was the first time I saw Michael Hayes as a youngster. So if I ever was to do a custom side of things or look at one, it would be one to go with them. I think he wore the similar red skin tight, didn't he? Back then, the trousers, but
yeah, no one wants to see that, Jamie.
I want to see that. One of the Hardys. They're with Lita at the moment. It doesn't really fit. It makes me a bit uneasy. Did you get what else did you get from Fig Pop Shop? Was that? Anything else?
Pretty much everything I've got other than the AEW Series 3 were from Fig Pop Shop, and that was the last one. But yeah, bit of a haul from Fig Pop Shop. 3 orders over the last 2 weeks arrived.
Been a busy man, isn't he?
My money.
Yeah, I've got some BCAs with the other ones, which we're going to be covering shortly in the underrated, our superstar side of things. But what was that, sorry? Spoiler alert. But yeah, I picked up a good old bundle of these on there. Some of them I didn't have as a child. Some of them I did have as a child. Some of them are the early ones. Stuff like the Truth Commission, which are quite good to pick up, I find. There's nice little shelf fillers, should we say. Looks more like a David Arquette figure than... Is it Recon and Interrogation or something?
No, Interrogator was Kurgan.
Oh, is that
Sniper.
that's-
Sniper. Sounds familiar.
no, it's definitely Recon and Interrogate or something. We'll look into it. We'll discuss it separately. I'm pretty sure it was Interrogate or something. Justin Hawk Bradshaw, which was a nice little figure to pick up with his little hat on. Got a Bret Hart, which I don't remember these on the back of it. Which
No.
I got a Pillman in the same similar sort of one as well. Got a Big Vis with his purple head. A Marvia and a couple of Vaders. I can sit here all day and go through all of these. We'll just go through the highlights for you. The Bob Backlund, for example. Yeah, so carry on, sorry.
The Jamie Wills special is hold a figure up for 2 seconds well, not even 2 seconds on the screen and take it away before we've even had a chance to look at them.
There's a lot to get through. There's a Sultan there with his Iron Sheik boots on. So as I said to you before, that I'm quite interested in looking at collecting BCAs as like a forefront of my line now. And this just sort of sums out for me as to why I like them so much. I think the nostalgia side of things for me, these would have come out when I was 6, 7, 8. And the first ones that I actually have memories of seeing on the shelves in the shops. So that's why I've gone back to collecting these. Picked up about a couple of bundles. They're relatively cheap nowadays. But yeah, that's why I picked up a good old bundle of BCAs.
Definitely better than the last bundle you showed. There's a lot more detail on these ones that you've showed today, particularly like the Justin Hawk Bradshaw one is actually quite a nice figure. It looks like him. Facially wise, it looks quite like him. Was his tag partner? Did they release a Wyndham?
You get it in a 2-pack?
Yeah, they did backtracks. But I believe they just looked exactly the same.
Yeah. I think even on some of them, when they first released it, they had the faces run the way around, I believe, on some of them. An error from Jack, they fixed it. But yeah, this come out by itself. It's missing the rope that come with it. But the hat's fine for a 20-plus-year-old figure, I find. Marvia was one I missed out on as a child. There was rumours of being at a car boot sale up the road. Went up there and the guy had just sold it when I got there. I hadn't had to find it since. So nice early memory of me with old Rocky there. But
Stop crying in the corner now.
Oh, the tears already came out when the case arrived on there. Some of them look like Bo Selector characters, which I understand, why Johnny doesn't like them that much. But I think that's Crush there, just for anyone's listening and watching. Sorry. So I think all in all, I'm quite happy with the BCA line. I'll quite exploit this line a bit further down and sort of see what we can culture up with them.
Yeah, the one thing they got going from is the quite unique set of characters. Like you wouldn't see a Justin Hawk Bradshaw, you wouldn't see a Sultan in any of the lines. So yeah, it's interesting to see what they did come up with back then. But the figures themselves, I'm not so.
No, I mean the figures themselves are borderline trash. But I mean, it's the nostalgia side of things, and it's the, as you said, it's the unique characters. There's a Clarence Mason one there, which. Yeah, it's exactly the same as Bob Backlund. Let's not try and kid ourselves. Obviously, a few differences you can tell, but the manager series that come out was really good. I think at the time, especially, we didn't really get many managers of the Hasbro line, so I think that's why it brings back the memories for me, and why I'm going to pick up me some lovely BCAs, and the Vader for me is really, really good.
Yeah,
one of the.
Right, is that you two done now?
Yep.
Last one then.
These chairs. Yeah, carry on.
So yes, I have completed the loose collection of Galoobs. We've just been talking about them, and I've picked up Barry Windham, and that's in a blue attire, which is quite hard to get. I believe it was a UK exclusive. It's in pretty good nick. I'm not into anything that's absolutely mint, but I got it at a good price. It was 85 quid, I think, with postage. So I'm happy to say that I've completed those in a loose collection.
Looks nice and minty, that one. I do like the Galoob, the way they do the hair. I think it looks a lot more like real hair than a lot of other bigger types.
I was quite impressed to see the two tones of, the blonde at the back, although it looks a bit bright in some respects, but least they give it a try. Yeah, it's a bit like Shawn Michaels there.
Mm. That's the one that arrived in the tin, wasn't it? That you sent us a picture of.
Yeah, it arrived in what I thought was a tin of dog food, but it turned out to be a tin of what would you put an aftershave bottle in?
Good thinking. I think I had a Barrow Windham as a child. Was he released in a different?
Yeah, there was a black one as well, which is really common.
Yeah, that's what I had. I had him, I had Arn, a few other ones where the bum rubs off quite easily. How's the bum looking on Barry?
He's got a nice bum.
That's good.
So you said you've completed them loose, Jono?
Yeah.
Have you got Big Josh's club and Lex Luger's chain?
No, they're dead to me. They don't exist. Never going to happen. I'm not paying upwards of 500 quid for an accessory. It's just never going to happen.
Someone sent me a picture yesterday of someone as a graded Big Josh with the club, 85% graded. I think it was selling for 1,000, which.
Yeah. Although, to be honest, I think the prices of Galoobs have gone down quite considerably compared to last year, and the little hike we've seen in Hasbro and Galoobs and things. I think the both prices have gone down quite a bit over last year. They've calmed down a bit. So yeah, I probably would have paid 120 or something for that last year, or even more, because of the franticness of it and thinking, oh God, they're only going to get higher prices. But yeah, a bit cheaper this year. So there we go. Done.
Good. So that's, you completed your Hasbro line now, and you completed the Galoob line in the space of a few months.
Yes, and it's all to do with how I define as completed. So yes, I've got all my Hasbros with the accessories, but not the Galoobs.
Because the accessories don't count on the Galoobs. Is that what we're?
I've got all the belts.
Oh, that's half the battle. What else are you looking at completing next? What's next on your completing list? You got anything?
Just the Jax Classics, and I still need the Trish Stratus LGN.
I've got a few guys looking for that for you, Jono. I've got a few people that I've spoken to that have said, if you find this.
Yeah, I sometimes look on the US eBay to see if it's kicking around for a decent price. Sometimes I forget.
But yeah, there was one went at the middle to the end of December, I believe, for about, it would have worked out at about 60 quid.
Yeah. I'm still hoping to get it a bit cheaper, if I'm honest. Yeah. Don't think it's that rare.
Well, hope you have fun trying to chase that figure. And speaking of chases, next up we got the weekly talking point, which we're discussing rare and chase figures on. Johnny's loving my transitions.
You're so proud of yourself for that link to the next segment.
I like absolutely nothing from the pair of you, so I need to set myself up for these sort of things. Yes, we'll be covering the weekly talking point next, which is the chase figures, the variant figures, the 1 in 500, the 1 in 1,000, anything you can think of to put a label on it. We'll be back in a second. Point in time now, we're looking at chase, rares, variants, anything you could possibly think of to make a figure a bit different from its original. So yeah, the general consensus of these figures are that they're a bit different to the original release runs, supposed to be hard to come by or make the chase worth it, basically, is the general consensus of why it's called a chase or a rare. Johnny, we'll start with you. I mean, chase figures, and what's your history and what's your view on them?
The history of chase figures for me is that I wasn't really aware of them as such until Mattel started doing them. And I have seen in the past that Jax probably started doing that sort of thing with limited numbers, 1 of 500s or 1,000 or whatever they did. So, it's only really become a big thing in the last few years, 2-3 years, I think.
Yeah, Adam, obviously we had the Jax. I think they had stuff that was completely unobtainable, the 1s of 20s, and they also had the 1s of 1,000s you see on the markets now. What's your sort of history with? Is it the same as Johnny? Is it the Mattel ones that you get introduced into these variants? Or?
Yeah, I mean, you tried to get the kind of Jax ones when you saw them, but again, you didn't really talk about them as a wrestling fan. I think the only time you've really started talking about these is AEW, which really shows the power of what Jazzwares have actually done with them. I think Mattel and Chase-wise has been pretty pointless, to be honest. The only thing I've ever been interested on Mattel and Chase is the one of 1,000 ones with the belts for the first series that came out. Where you got this big weird gold belt, which wasn't an actual belt in the wrestling. And that's the only one that I see now that people actually try and collect the kind of whole variety of them. Mattel went down a really weird route where they made people uninterested with them. A Chase came with a chair, which was different because it had SummerSlam written on it. And then they went down the Chase routes of changing the most minute detail on them, which we'll probably get into talking about, but they haven't made it appealing for me as a fan, let's say.
No, so there's a bit of, I know it's a bit of confusion from my end, but a while ago I was picking up basic figures. I think they were on offer in Asda, I think, around the corner from here. But all the basic figures come with the world title, even though the people who the figures represented didn't come with a world title. So I think like Nia Jax come with a Slammy, I think, and Kevin Owens come with the old WWE title and so on. They had a whole series that was made from them. Were they chases or were they just...
I think they were branded as a chase, yes. So you went out to find the one with the Slammy Award, or I think some came with a Money in the Bank briefcase.
Right.
Those were the basic line, Mattel Basics.
Mm.
Yeah, there was the gold Chase belt as well.
That was it. And just no design or anything on them, really, which is strange. So yeah, I mean, one cornerstone for the Chase figures for me has been the Funko side of things. Now, so know as the three of us don't really collect Funkos, but if we're looking at what Chase figures should be, for me, these is what they are, because the Kevin Nash, the Diesel pop that come out last year, the Chase figure for that was a Kevin Nash NWO rather than a Diesel pop. The Razor Ramon one, the Chase was the NWO Scott Hall. The Finn Balor, the Chase was the face painted, the Demon Finn Balor that come with. So I think if we're looking at chases, that's where they should be going, a completely different figure to what they're having. And we're not really getting that at the moment. We're getting Aleister Black with his knee pad. What would you guys like to see from your chases?
I think what you mentioned there with Funko is exactly what you'd want to see as a chase, because it actually does give you a reason to try and go out and get it. Whereas if it's just a small colour change, like we're seeing with, let's just say, the Greg Valentine, even from the Legend series, where one was black and one was yellow, most people who are not a bit of a Legend psychopath like me don't want both. They're just fine with one of them. But even worse than that was maybe the King Mabel, where there was very minute details changed on the attires. It just didn't make any sense why you'd go out on the hunt and find the other one. Even the Hurricane was quite similar to the same ones as well.
Yeah, I think there's an argument that obviously there's a different time frame for some of them, but like you're saying with Mabel and stuff, we're talking about months here. We're not talking about a massive change in time. I think for a chase, it needs to be a completely, not even a different mold of person, but it needs to be a different era. You know, if I get a big show, I want to look for a giant chase, like you've said with the NWOs. I think the only example I can think of WWE Elites for that, is probably the most obvious one is Shelton Benjamin, because his chase was a gold standard Shelton Benjamin, which you're looking at 12 years earlier or something. I might be completely wrong with that, but you get the point I'm trying to make, where it's a completely different era of figure to go in a completely different part of someone's display. I think Jake Roberts was quite a few years apart with the two attires that he wore in the Legends series. And if we're going to talk about basics, I think the only ones I can talk about is the Shield, where Rollins and Ambrose came with Shield shirts for the Chase version. That's what you want. You know, I wanted to get those basics. I don't collect basics, but I've still got them. That's what you want. The rest of them, you know, Aiden English has got a pattern on a scarf, and then the Chase is a blank scarf. Who wants that? Especially when it's worse than the first one.
Yeah, it's been some bizarre choices, and I think they're just doing it for the sake of it. Just the main thing I came in here to say is that I believe manufacturers are trying to make something rare rather than something becoming rare on its own merit. Because you would say something from the old Mattel Legends line, let's say an Akeem or a Rick Martel, they've become rare based upon how long they've been out of stores and the demand for the character, without any re-releases and that sort of thing. Whereas now they're just making limited numbers, trying to do it on their own, rather than let nature take its course, and for long term get something valuable in the collection.
Well, prime example, Johnny, is the issue you have with Christian that we discussed late last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. But I was actually okay with that Christian variant because it had both different color pants and a different color top. And in that case, strangely, the chase was more readily available than the normal. So it was a bit of an anomaly, that one.
I think if they were going to go on the route that we wanted to go down, where it's a completely different style or different era, I think they had a decent chance this year with Kama Mustafa, and they could have had the fighting machine as the standard, and then either Nation as the chase, or some form of that. I think that's what I want to see is because people are going to want the Nation one because to go with the other nations that they've released. So they could generate that as a chase. People want to go out and want to find it, and then maybe a few years down the line release it as a standard release with different painting or something on there. But that's what, for a chase to me, what it would mean to get me back into looking for them or hunting for them or chasing them.
I think a chase needs to be attainable, but not too attainable. And I think more often than not, we see both ends and not a middle. So we see stuff like those slammies where they're so attainable. You pick them up on eBay now for £2-3, and then you see the other end with the AEW one of 500s, which you're never ever going to get. We want something in the middle. I think the Legends series have kind of tried to hit that a bit more. I think the Valentine in the yellow trunks and the Jake with the green are attainable. So I think they are heading in the right direction there, Mattel.
Yeah, I think Mattel have made the chases attainable, but if we want to talk about AEW, then absolutely not. There's so much demand for them figures at the moment, and with them only releasing 1,000 and 500 respectively of these rare and chase figures, they're just impossible to get, and they're going for hundreds, if not thousands, on the secondary market.
They are changing that though, so I will say, yeah. What were you going to say?
That one, Jamie, is that they are going to change their chase into one of 5,000, and the rare is going to be one of 3,000. So I don't know what sort of numbers Mattel do in their chases, but if they're going to increase the amount by, what is it, about ×5 at least on some of them, they're going to become more attainable. So we might reach that sweet spot of what Adam's talking about in those ones becoming attainable, but rare at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it doesn't help that people don't go to the shops for figures anymore. I think it doesn't help that the moment that a shop will get a chase, they'll probably, well, we have seen they'll definitely bang it on a different section of their website for more money. And that's not the point of a chase. A chase shouldn't be more money. A chase should be exactly the same amount as the other one, but just a lucky aspect of getting it.
Yes, that's right. It's never going to happen from the independent suppliers. And to be honest, it would be quite daft if they did just send out a random, £500 figure, really, essentially, for the AEW. Not take advantage.
I disagree with you. Disagree with you completely on that one. Because I think if somebody like, your fig pop shops or your wrestling traders turned around and said, hey guys, I've got a chase in my set this time, and I've allocated a number for it, and I will be sending it out to that person who buys it, that number person. I think the people would go, well, I'm definitely going to buy it from them rather than them who aren't doing that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I wasn't questioning about whether they should or shouldn't do it. Is a case of, like, I can understand why they don't do it. And if they do get any, they'll keep them for themselves or But you've got a good point. But it's going to be hard to, if you're going to say, all right, the person who orders the 100th figure of this gets it. How are you going to prove that? It's going to send out to, well, I can't speak for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly there's going to be some sort of nepotism there.
I get you. I completely understand on that, but at the end of the day, you don't have to prove it. You've got one, and then one of your customers gets it, then that customer is bound to put some kind of advert out there. Wow, I got this from this company. And yeah, there's going to be nepotism. There always is. You can't avoid that. But at least it's going to be in the public eye then that somebody's got one.
Is that going to turn into people scalping them, buying a lot of them?
If you're making money, then
just in the hope that they're going to get it, or
yep.
I think that's a big push. I think if I was going to buy 5 figures just on the hope that I've got a 1 in 2,000 chance or whatever of getting it, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword because they are getting. I mean, I couldn't get Orange Cassidy or Darby Allin because they'd sold out instantly, and every time they do come out, and Smiths are gone within a minute or two. So people are buying these. Cassidy doesn't have a chase. Darby Allin does. So maybe, with that being the case where you could get a chase, people are going to be buying multiples and multiples over and over. And I know Smiths do limit it to 3 figures, but you can just repeat that process over and over.
And
these aren't necessarily, a rare or exclusive figure. They're just normal line figures, and people are buying them knowing they're going to be able to flip them very easily.
Sadly, you can't.
Yeah, you could be right.
Yeah, you can't help that, sadly. But I think I've seen 2, maybe 3 chases in the UK for the MJF that we see on the groups, and how many people would have picked it up that have been in the Facebook groups. So yeah, it's got to be 1 in over 1,000, 1 in 2,000 easily for those. So you don't want to get to the point where you see the Jax figures. I know someone put up a William Regal 1 of 3,000 Jax figure, and it was £8 in its box, mint in its box, posted, and that stayed there for ages. No one even picked that up. So we don't want to get to that point where people just go in, oh, I don't care. Figure that's 1 of 3,000 doesn't bother me. So it'd be nice to see a good happy medium, as you guys said before, about the rarity of it, the commonness of it, just having attainable for people that need it, but also keeps its value. Increases.
Yeah, I think you just need to hit that sweet spot, like Johnny says.
I understand with the business nature of it, but if I'm just going to completely have my own opinion of it, is I don't like it. I just want a figure to be accessible. If I want it, I'll go buy it, and online if possible. That would just make my life a lot easier in terms of buying. I don't get the whole thrill of the chase type thing with figures. I rather just have them at my fingertips to get easily. I'm not, I don't want to waste time with that sort of thing.
Think of that feeling though, Jono, if you were in Toys R Us and you came across one of the chases. Think of the feeling.
It doesn't really, well, yeah, I suppose if that's the only way I'm going to get them, yes, but I don't really want to go out to Toys R Us. I don't want to go back in time 5 years ago when it was still open.
It's been closed. R.I.P. Toys R Us.
Same with Smiths. It's a bit of a trek to get to Smiths, so I'd rather just not make the journey and have them available online, ready to order.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, as you said, it's double-edged sword, though, isn't it? You can't have both ways, sadly. We're going to either have to go out and have the hunt, or you have to pay a bit extra and get the chase. The Rick Rude one as well, for example, I found that in B&M. Didn't notice the chase till I got home, which is another, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, concealing the chase until you open that robe.
I think you can.
Again, that was one of the ones that were too readily available.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to go back, the main point is that I like to own a rare figure, but I only like that to be rare if I bought it 10 years ago and now 10 years later it's worth something, then I've made a worthy investment at the time. I don't want to just have to go out and pay £1,000 now for a chase figure just because someone says it's rare. Well, it is, but deliberately made rare.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think the destination, the journey is better than the destination, as they say. And you want to be able to pick it up and have an investment, and you've got that there. So that makes sense. As you said, like the original Legends line, like your Martells, like your Akeems, where readily available at the time. You pick one up, you're looking at 100 plus at the moment, aren't you? So, yeah, I get what you mean on that side of things.
Good.
Let's cut that one there.
Yeah, we all done for chases, boys? Everyone, any further points on your chases?
I know we could probably talk longer, but we'd certainly leave it there at this point and see how they go, see how this develops with the AEW increasing their amounts, and we might rediscover it, see what it's like next year.
Yeah, and see if anyone draws an F on their original Aleister Black knee pad to make it into a chase. Lovely. So we've got Underrated R Superstar next, and we'll be back with you in a sec. Underrated R Superstar. Superstar! It's my go here. We've had the other two's attempt at it recently. So looking at the Jax BCA line this time, I'm veering away from the Mattel, and I've gone for the Jax BCA Triple H. I believe it's from the fully loaded set. Correct me if I'm wrong. Reason I've chose this Triple H, head scan, not fantastic, but for a BCA, looks good. The hair wise, just picked the Triple H from that time, but it's more the trousers. I think detail wise on the trousers, the shiny sort of purpley effect you get off there, something that Mattel haven't been able to recreate. And this is 1999, good figure for that time. I'm happy with this Triple H. The reason I think it's underrated is because you don't see one on the market picked up for more than £2. You didn't hear anyone speaking about this Triple H, and I think that's why it's underrated. I think it needs to be glorified more.
Well, it was your challenge that I pitched to you to try and sell me any BCA figure as a good figure, and you know what? I'm going to give you that. You've done it. You've picked a decent one. You're right in the attire is good. It's shiny, as you said. It depicts how it was in real life. I know Mattel have done a basic, and it didn't look as good as that on the attire. You know what? I'm not going to give you the face. The face is terrible. But as a BCA, you've kind of sold me in that it's an underrated line, and that's one of its better figures.
Adam, we had to weigh in. You're going to be a stickler?
Yes, I am. Two underrated superstars in a row that I've thought are rubbish figures. Well, out of all the BCAs you could have gone for, you showed us loads earlier, which were unique, which had unique features about them. And for this one, you've gone for some shiny trousers. So I completely disagree with this one. Yes, the trousers are nice and they pop. That is it. You could have picked like Justin Hawk Bradshaw, who had loads about it, a different model of a figure that we've had JBL loads, different model of a figure, but no, a kind of plain top, a rubbish face, and some shiny trousers.
Well, you just said it yourself. We've had a few JBLs. What's the difference of having a few Triple H's and having one that is in an attire that Mattel haven't been able to perfect yet?
I will half agree with that. You know, they haven't got the shiny aspect on the trousers, but you're clutching at straws there to call it an underrated or superstar figure.
Oh, it is.
You know, I think we all look at this completely different. You know, Adam comes in here with figures that we all know are good. They've always been credited as being good, and we can't exactly disagree and say the bad figures because they're not. But they're not underrated.
No, the reason I think this is underrated is that there's been so many Triple H's, and I think for me this one stands out, but it gets put into the pile with the other. Oh, it's just a Triple H figure, but it's not. For me, it's a better than just a Triple H figure. It's a bit of effort got into it, rather than Superstar Billy Graham, which had a reused tank top on it.
I mean, the only reason I can sort of understand why you're going with that is that Mattel have had two goes at this one with the basic line and with the retro line, and it does probably stand out, if not facially, but with them shiny pants. They've done a good job on that. So that's the basis which I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the best underrated figure we've seen or that sort of thing, but
Underrated are trousers. Shall we go with that?
yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, underrated our bottom half would be the better thing.
Underrated, they did it better than Mattel.
But yeah, I say, I could have picked a unique bot. I could have picked the Savio Vega, for example, which is a nation's Savio Vega, or I could have picked the Droz, who was also on the list of things. But for that, I think that just stood out for me. So I think that's why I went with Triple H.
And we have kind of discussed it quite a lot in the past. And there's one coming up from Mattel in the Elite line, so we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be. Said that they've already had 2 bites of the not so glazed cherry, should we say? So yeah, I think it would be interesting to see where they go with it. But yeah, that's why I think that's underrated. But I don't think otherwise. Sport. Speaking of retros, Retro Review is coming up, and Series 10. So we're back in a second.
Retro Review!
An emotional end for us now. We got the Retro Review. We're reviewing the Mattel Retro Series, and we're on Series 10, which is the sadly the last series ... of the Mattel line. Johnny, let's fire across to you.
Yes, as always, we'll kick you off with the results from Series 9 and how they were scored from us as well as the listeners' scores. So in the end, we got Goldust, which scored a very respectable 7.39. And even better than that, the Macho Man was a 7.67. Randy Orton with a 6.48 and Samoa Joe at a 6.45. The thing with Samoa Joe is that the audience tend to really like him. He got some really high scores, whereas we scored him quite low. So it's good that we can get the audience or the listeners' views as well to add to our own, so we're not like sort of just basing upon on our own thoughts and getting some other inputs.
Whereabouts did Macho place?
Yeah, I wish I had the table in front of me. I did send it to Jamie just earlier. I believe it was
Top 10?
certainly top 5.
Macho Man is 6th.
Oh yeah, 6. There you go. Thank you, Jamie.
Sorry, certainly top 5. Whereas Macho Man Series 5 was 2nd. So I guess to show that more detail on that one, the better, clearly.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of more detail, should we crack on with Series 10?
Yes. Let's crack on. We're going alphabetical again.
Yeah, Adam, I know Jamie's got these. Do you have any?
Just the one.
Just
Big Daddy Cool.
Well, we can start off with you then. You can talk us through.
There he is. Big Daddy Cool Diesel. I quite like him. I think facially wise, it looks more like fake Diesel than real Diesel. The shades are quite good. They're the exact shape that he used to wear. The writing on it is decent effort. I mean, there's not much effort on the rest of it. How's the back? Has it got anything on it at all?
Nothing. Nada. Nothing.
Nice and plain. So again, it's going to be one where we say that it's just a lack of effort more than anything in little details. I think the hand is good for the raising of the fist that he used to do, which is nice for posing. Have I got anything else written down? I don't know about yours, but mine is really badly painted. That could be just a one-off, but there's like little bits missing. His sunglasses especially, there's skin colour all over his sunglasses and the skin colour all over his glove. So I didn't know whether that was just mine or not.
Yeah, I think you've got a bad one there because I actually saying that the singlet doesn't match up at the top, which is pretty poor. But other than that, the Diesel is painting on okay and the sunglasses are fine. You showed me that MOC, remind me that you picked one up for me and sent it for me for. I don't even know if you charged me or not, but it was either that or a £6 job.
£6 it was, yeah.
I think I did the same, didn't I?
You sold them?
No, I sold them to you with what I paid for them, but I think this series, wasn't it?
Yes,
right?
We'll get to them. I will thank you later.
All right, I'm not in it for plaudits. Yeah, sorry, carry on. As you
Yes.
were.
As I was. So when I first seen this figure, I hated it. I hated the fact that I came with sunglasses. However, I have come around to it, and I don't mind the shades being on. It kind of makes it a bit more cartoony, which is kind of what I'm looking for in this series now. There's no leg deco, pretty disappointing. Could have had some sort of, even just a white line down there or something. And the action's fine. The body's good. It's like the same as Braun Strowman, so it's bigger than the rest of the guys. But it's not brilliant. It could have done a lot better.
How does it match height-wise? Is it taller?
It'll be the exact same, I would imagine.
Yeah, so there's...
It's the same as Braun Strowman.
Yeah, it's the same mold, isn't it? I'd say, I mean, trousers-wise, there is a bit of deco on there. You've got a bit of the black on the side for the tassels,
Yeah.
which... But it's not enough. Yeah, Diesel had black, but he also had a bit of silver on his trousers as well, remember rightly, didn't he? So I mean that for me is what's missing is the silver up the side. Diesel on the front is fine. Sunglasses I don't mind. It reminds me of Bodyguard Diesel, which I think is probably the earliest memory I have of him. And it's one that was needed from the Hasbro. They've sadly mispainted the goatee on mine, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, all in all, I think it's a basic figure which just need a little bit of deco for me personally.
I'm going to put this down as a bit of a disappointment in that it was such a figure that was long awaited since it didn't make the Hasbro line. And I'm going to kick us off with the scores. I'm going with a high 6, a 6.8.
I'll go next. It's a bit of a diesel appointment for me. Anyone? Any takers on that?
Say that again.
A diesel appointment. Disappointment with diesel on the front. No, it's bad once, twice as worse. Yeah, 7 for me. Just missing the little bit of deco on the side.
Okay.
6.4 for me. I actually thought you guys were going to go underneath that. I was going to try and convince you why my score was high there.
Yeah, I mean, it's still decent, so I'd put it to high 6s.
I think it needs some stands this series, I think, personally. But yeah.
The stands, if we want to talk about stands, they're absolutely pointless. Half of them don't even fit on the said stands. They're badly planned. They shouldn't ever have come with them. But yeah, let's move on. Let's go for Elias. Now, I've got to admit, I've changed the accessory. I put a Jax on because it sits nicely over his shoulder. It comes with a strap.
No, it's flimsy.
And, it holds and it doesn't fall off or break. But, right, I'm going to talk to this one because I couldn't find any faults to it. I think the head or face is pretty good. The tie is accurate for the time with a white vest, black pants. It comes with an accessory, which is I feel is a huge plus point in this line because not many do. And the action's perfect. The smash someone's guitar over the head. The only issue is that it's just a bit too plain and basic and black and white.
Yeah, literally black and white. Yeah, I think guitar-wise, I luckily haven't got a flimsy one, which I'm quite happy about. My Honky Tonk Man one that I've got with the guitar, I'm guessing it's the same guitar, is very flimsy. The slightest bit of wind, it just comes straight apart. So I'm glad that this one stays a bit more there. Yeah, Elias tank top wise, you can't do much with that. Maybe give him a scarf, but if you got the guitar with it, don't need the scarf as well. And then just trousers standard. Not much you could have done. Looks quite biblical in the face, is what I will say. But apart from that, yeah, I quite like it on the whole.
Yeah, I think it needs a little bit of flower power on the attire somewhere. Like he tends to wear quite a lot of patterns, even if they're not massively visible, they are still there. Is this the same model as any of the other retros? Because I've only seen this in pictures, so that's all I can go off. And it looks almost bootleggy in the pictures of the model of it.
I'm trying to think. I feel it's the same as like the Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy had the leg, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know. The pictures that I've seen of it, something looks wrong. It looks bootleggy. It looks not as stable as the others, or it might just be with the vest that's making it look like that, because there's a complete split between the shoulder and that makes it look like that. But from the pictures, I don't know. There's something up with it, but I can't define what it is.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Maybe it's that the head's a little bigger compared to the body.
Maybe. I think this whole series, though,
Yeah.
like the heads are slightly bigger than the bodies.
I know what you mean, but I don't at the same time.
Yeah, I know what I mean, but I don't.
But yeah, I don't think there is another mold that's exactly like this. The other ones seem to have more of a. I don't think it's in this action before. Maybe the top half's Sami Zayn and the bottom half's something different. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think all in all, with that action, nothing else. That's the only action I can think of. No.
I could go have a look at the retro series, but I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe it is quite unique.
Well, if it is, it's a plus point for me on there. I can't think of anything else that could have gone with it that would have made sense. I'm not even sure what his finishing move is. I know it's called Drift Away, but couldn't tell you what it was. So yeah, I think that makes sense. And maybe having a sit-down thing would have been a better option. Maybe have like both Nakamura legs, but so we could sit down and play his guitar like he does. Only thing he's really known for, but yeah, only different.
I think that would go against the kind of Hasbro retro line if there was too much that you could do with it, though.
Yeah, that's the only downside to it.
All right, what sort of scores are you thinking? Because I've changed my mind several times throughout this conversation. I'm not sure where I'm at.
I see all the plus points, but there's something wrong with the mold, and I don't like the way it looks. And I do think they could have added some more flowery type of detail to it. I gave it a straight 6.
Yeah.
See, I quite like it. I got my first real 6 screen, and it's going to be in the summer of 6.9 for me for Elias.
I started out way higher than both of you, in the fact that I couldn't find much fault with it, apart from it being a bit basic. And I think because it is a bit basic, I'm going to, score it around the 7. But because it comes with a guitar and a good accessory, I'm going to add another point onto that. And I'm going with 8, a flat 8.
8
which
Elias.
I've actually come down a full point from when I originally did the scores. I had them at a 9.
Well, you were high when you started this, then, weren't you? Gee, a 9.
I rushed it.
God. Yeah, 9. Been a crazy one.
Oh. 2, it's our junkyard dog. Take Elias down and put him up there.
Can I see the back?
Yep, you certainly can.
Thank you.
Something on the back for a change. I think it's the first time we've ever had something on the back. Well, not ever, but we very rarely get any back decor. So it's nice to see the thump on there. The attire is pretty accurate, although I probably could have done with a couple more stars, maybe on the back or on the side or on the boots. Face, I think it's really good. It's almost the same as the Mattel Elite. In fact, I've went as far as say it's the best head of a retro figure that I can see or can remember.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think it could have come with an accessory, a little chain. I've actually got one. I'm sure it's just something I found randomly lying around, just a bit of chain to put them over them.
Is that an actual necklace chain, is it?
I have no idea where it's from, whether it's from a wrestling figure accessory or just from a neck. No idea. Action, not sure about it. Doesn't do a power slam. Could maybe have done that one a bit better.
I'm not sure. Is it for the headbutts that he?
Yeah.
So you can...
That could work.
Yeah, I was thinking that the only thing that I've got written down that you've not covered is, although I don't like the action that this does as in the wavy body, I do think it works for this one because you can kind of get him down on all fours and you can kind of almost act like a dog where it runs up and shakes its head and then headbutts them. So I thought that was a really good point for this one.
Yeah, I'm pleased you mentioned that. Might promote the score.
Yeah, I think all in all, I'm happy with this figure. I think Junkyard Dog, I'm not a massive fan. I don't have fond memories of. I know he was in the early sort of late 80s, wasn't he? But all in all, figure wise, I think it's everything they could have done with it, maybe apart from a chain, they've done with it. Deco on the front, it's minimal, but it's there. On the back, it's got thump. I quite like the movement. The head's really good. I mean, for white trousers, they stand out. So all in all, I'm quite happy with this figure. Yeah, definitely happy with Junkyard.
Yeah, I think it's been a good effort. I'll kick off the score and I'll go 8.8.
Ads from you next.
Yeah, I had it really high as well. Not quite that high, but I went for an 8.5. I think for a retro, perfect model for a perfect person.
You or him? Would you?
Well, take that as you will.
You haven't got it. Yeah, I mean, I went 9.1. Truth be told, as I said, I couldn't really find many faults with it apart from the accessory. Anything? I'm trying to see if the retro stand on the old BCA stand, but they don't. Yeah, 9.1 for me. Good figure, done well, and it says a lot that this is quite a sought after figure from the set.
Yeah, I think it lends to the fact that it could have been easily part of the original Hasbro line.
Yeah.
Right, last one. Our swan song. And it's Matt Hardy and Jamie, take it away.
Did you say our swan song or our swanton?
Well, I would have said swanton if it was Jeff, but not
No.
Matt.
Builds up to it, doesn't he? For me, it's not good. Face-wise, it looks a bit like him in places. Looks a bit more like Daniel Bedingfield and others. Movement-wise, I get why they've done the kick for the setup for the Twist of Fate. It's just very, very plain for a woken/broken Matt Hardy. They could have done a lot more with it. And it's just, yeah, very, very boring looking figure.
Yeah, I think boring sums it up really more than anything. Yes, they've made the effort with the hair, with the two-toneness. The face is very, very cartoony, especially at that angle that John O's got him at the moment, with a weird mustache. Even the body, I don't know, it just looks more plain than any other bodies. It's a cop-out from Mattel.
As I said with the Jeff Hardy figure, this should have been the Hardy Boys. Should have had Jeff with the Hardy Boys, should have been Matt with the Hardy Boys. Action is neither here nor there. I don't know what's doing. It's very plain. As you said, the body, even though it's accurate, it doesn't look right. And the face is good from a certain angle, and it's pretty cartoony. But it's not good, it's not bad. It's a strange one to sort of evaluate.
The hair's really weird as well. The hair's like out for some reason. I just don't know why.
The hair seems a lot longer than Matt ever had, especially at the back.
It's just a very strange looking figure, and I just don't know why they've gone down the plain route with someone that is known realistically for his attires, especially during the later stages, the Woken stage. So, yeah, very, very peculiar for me.
Who wants to score?
Adam,
Adam,
go on, Adam.
Adam.
It's below average, so 4.5.
Very much below average. Jamie.
4. Matt 40.
Bloody hell. I didn't think it was that bad as such. It's not in the Kofi Kingston or Xavier Woods or especially not Shawn Michaels era. So I'm sort of going with a 5.6.
I think it is in that, only because of how little the face looks like him. The only thing that you can look at to know it's a Matt Hardy figure is the two-tone hair, which isn't even done right anyway. So,
no, I don't think the face is too bad. It's a bit cartoony, and as you say, if you put it like that, it looks weird. But if you look at it in person and certain angles, it's fine. It's good. It's fine. But the hair is a bit all over the place. It's a bit wacky.
I don't like the head, and I do think it belongs in the kind of realms of Kofi and Xavier. I think Kofi and Xavier belong there because of the stupid expression on their face, but he belongs there because I just don't think the head's good.
Okay.
The teeth look good though. I'll give them that. You can tell it's two different sets of teeth, which yeah, I wouldn't know it was a Matt Hardy figure.
I think it looks better in person because even I'm looking at my screen and it looks rubbish. But I look at myself with my own eyes straight in front and it's not too bad.
It looks like Bobcat from the Police Academy films. Remember Zed? Looks more like him than it does Matt Hardy.
Yeah. But you know, I'm not saying it's a good figure. A bit like the Edge, you know.
The Edge is fine. So yeah, that's it for the Mattel retros, the retros. Or is it? Because I know Mattel have said that the series is on ice, not finished. So
yep, there's only one way forward, and that's to release some more. And as we've seen a lot of other companies starting to head down this line. So it'd be a bit daft if Mattel didn't start back up again at some point. I'm sure we'll see a Series 11 soon.
Yeah. I don't think soon. I think they'll leave it and they'll build the anticipation up for a while. Yeah, as long as obviously the contract with WWE lasts for a while.
I think they've already done that. It's been a good 2-3 years now, hasn't it?
I think it was 2018. I think the last ones were released.
Yeah.
So yeah, it must have been because that's when Enzo was released, wasn't it? At the start of then, so it must have been around. So yeah, 3 years is a good old break for it. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they come up with in the next series, and the Series 11 would be the next one. It'd be interesting to see like Cesaro and some of the newer, bigger guys coming through. Probably a Cody in there somehow, but interesting to see where they go with it.
Yeah, I imagine that's going to be AEW's first retro figure.
So yeah, sorry to put you guys on the spot, which I know you will, but is there anything you wanted to see from the first 10 series that didn't get in there? Anything that springs to mind for you guys that we didn't get? I
rattled on about it today in the last episode as well. It's just the Hardy Boys, just some different. I'd rather have a retro version of the current guy rather than their current persona in this line. There's always the characters like Bret Hart or Hulk Hogan, whatever, that we'd like to see, but I'm not going to dwell on that part of it.
I'd just say because it's such a kind of limited release line, I don't think they needed to duplicate like they have, even at last minute.
Definitely, I think there's. Well, if you look at some of the people that the Hasbro did the dirty on, should we say, like the Ricky Steamboats, and the other one, British Bulldog, and it's an iconic figure, but I think that they with an updated model or some of these models would have looked a lot better. I would like to have seen some of those be released as these. But that's what I wanted to see from this series. So hopefully, if they do release further series down the line, we can get those ones in there.
Yeah, it'll certainly try and recreate those sort of figures as well. The big names of the Legends line that they seem to have, British Bulldog certainly, and Ricky Steamboat. But you're always going to get people in the line twice. You definitely have more Triple H's. You're going to have more Austins and The Rock. It's going to happen. It's inevitable, and it's part of the figure life.
We're just glad that they haven't put a Hogan out with this one. I'm surprised they didn't. I guess it was in the whole Hogan not speaking to us bit, wasn't it? But
it was exactly through that period, and that's all why it didn't happen.
Looking forward to that. But so hopefully in a few years' time we'll be having a look at some more retros. But until then, we'll have to think about something else, won't we?
Indeed. Or is this the end? Who knows?
Who knows? But it's the end of this episode 10 anyway, whilst we're on the subject. So lovely. Well, thanks for joining me again, guys. And Adam, thanks for your time, and Johnny as well.
No problem.
Make sure you pick up some BTAs for next time, Johnny, now that you're a massive fan of them.
I'm still not a massive fan.
No. Watch this space. All right. See you guys soon.